welcome to Build Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in pop culture. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
And I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Guys.
Woo! Today we're going to talk about Sarah Silverman's Hulu hot takes, celebrity children taking over social media, and Frankie Grande's go-to person for dating advice. Plus, Lindsay Metzelar joins the table to discuss her podcast, We Met at Acme. But first,
Jussie Smollett's lawyers say that charges against him have been dropped. That just happened a few moments before we went on the air.
We have breaking news.
Apparently there were 16 counts and they've all been dropped. And his lawyer and his team are going to do a press conference coming up here soon. But it's sort of a nice final chapter to this whole thing kind of being closed.
The only thing is to forfeit the $10,000 bond or whatever. But other than that, I mean, his lawyers, the statement they made is very much like he was a victim of a false claim. It's like we should not be putting trials in the public, like, you know, judged by the public. They are very much saying that he was a victim of an attack.
So what does that mean if the city drops charges? Like, what is the implication there?
It means that they've done, I guess, more investigation or looked into it more, and they don't have enough.
The lack of evidence,
Yeah,
right?
They don't have enough to say definitively what happened, and I think that then he's off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree that like the media gets too involved in cases like this and really sway people's opinions, and we kind of make our decisions before we have all the facts. And you know, Jussie said from the very beginning that he was innocent and that he didn't lie about this. And I mean, now he kind of gets the last say.
It was one of those things where he pled not guilty. It's not like he took a deal or a plea or anything. I mean, he's been pretty consistent in his innocence, and so this must be a huge moment for him and his family and all the people who stuck by him through all of this, because it was a really stressful ordeal.
Yeah.
I wonder what that means for his role in Empire.
Well, I feel for the writers, the staff, the crew of Empire during this whole production. I mean, this whole scandal that happened. I have no idea. I mean, I'm expecting Empire to get renewed for a 6th season, but who knows? And who knows what his involvement will be, because it will be hard for him, no matter what, to kind of erase this from his, you know, persona, at least for the near future.
Yeah, but his character is such a big
part
of that show, and especially in the last season, his storyline with him finding love, and I mean, it's so important to the show, and it's reached so many people, so you would hope that they find a way to kind of work around this.
Right.
Absolutely.
But who knows?
We'll see. Apple unveiled new content at their latest keynote conference, including many original shows featuring Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, Oprah, and more. The new content will appear on an Apple Plus platform this fall. Take a look.
Stand by 1, make your move.
7.
Ready?
6.
Yeah, I'm ready.
5. 4. 3. 2.
This is where we build our new home.
But where's Oprah? Like, I didn't care about I was like hearing people in the office watch this, and I'm like, oh my God. And then they're like, guys, it's Oprah. And I literally sprang out of my seat and ran over there.
And she was so Oprah.
She was
like,
so Oprah.
Apple! Hello! I was like, we get it, you're Oprah! It was like, oh my gosh, she could not have been more Oprah at this like gigantic event.
And she was so dramatic. She was speaking like Nelson Mandela. She was like, and we are going to unveil the biggest book club. And I was like, I thought you were gonna start streaming from Mars or something.
Well, Oprah has a really interesting deal with a multi-year deal with Apple to produce content. But right now, she has 2 documentaries, one about workplace harassment, one about mental health, that will be coming out in the fall, I think, when this Apple Plus platform is launched. I'm really excited. There are so many shows. You saw the Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell talk show. There's
show.
C. This is futuristic Jason Momoa show, and then one I'm really excited for called Dickinson, starring Haley Steinfeld, and it's like a comedic take on Emily Dickinson. I love it.
She just heard the word dick. And
Yeah,
Oh.
you're like, I'm really excited for Dick.
Cool.
heard
Emily Dickinson, one of the most prolific writers of our time, but whatever. Cool.
Yeah, you're like,
Right, with Dick, cool.
It's funny that Jason Momoa is in C because, like, just coming off Aquaman, it's like he's got a water kink.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I think he's definitely gonna get like, like typecast as like a wet man
Just a wet-
who does lots of fighting.
Yeah.
With wet hair.
I see it.
He's always wet.
I don't want him to be pigeonholed. He could be on land. He could be in space. He doesn't have to be in
I think
water.
he's too big for space. He's too
You're
ripped.
right. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
I think you actually can't be that ripped in space because it like is a hazard and it will break your suit and then
Because the
We saw
muscles
it-
just want to break out.
But we actually saw that NASA, the reason why they're canceling that all-female spacewalk
Yes.
is because they can't make small enough space
Suits,
for
yeah.
women, so they definitely couldn't make a one big enough for Jason Momoa. NASA, you motherfuckers!
But knowing NASA, they probably would make one big enough because they're being sexist. Just
Yeah.
get smaller suits.
They're like, we could take lots of materials and make a big suit, but we can't waste our time making tiny suits.
Good.
So back to Apple, this is part of their big announcement they're doing. So they're re-upping Apple TV. So it's going to be more like an a la carte, like cable box. Like you'll be able to subscribe to different channels, but also they have this Apple News, which is going to cost about $10 a month to have like
Wow, Apple
access to
News.
300 magazines if you still read magazines,
Yeah.
and then Apple credit card.
So this is what's interesting
Yeah,
because
take it.
Apple Pay has it has like a niche audience, but I don't think it's been like as widespread because it's not accepted everywhere. But with the Apple credit card, this is how they're gonna remedy that. Plus you get 3% back on
Right.
Apple purchases, which is really appealing to people. And so I think they're really going to continue to forge a path in this like financial tech space because Apple Pay, the big controversy is that it wasn't everywhere, but with this now you can use it everywhere.
Yeah, that is appealing to me. And just quickly back to that a la carte option.
Right.
That's what I find really most appealing about this whole TV plan is like most millennials, I think they don't need those like packages with like a bunch of channels you don't watch.
No.
Like, I would love to just pick like the 4 channels I
Right.
watch.
I mean, that's like cord cutting is our generation. We're destroying cable TV because I think millennials are really purposeful of what they watch, and we don't need to be flicking the channels at 2 in the morning, seeing what's on channel 131. We want to be on Bravo or FX, and that's only cable we watch. Or you have your HBO, you have your Hulu, you have your Netflix. So like you really. And then only have a few things, plus Disney subscription service. Like, you don't need all these cable channels
But they
anymore.
didn't talk about how much this Plus is going to cost,
True.
have they? So that's what's going to be interesting because the prices are really all over the place, and I think that will be the determining factor.
Right.
Because if it's about live TV, there's services like Sling, and that's $20 a month. You know what I mean? And you can get all the live TV you want. You can select channels and bundle it that way. So with Apple, I feel like they tend to overprice things,
Right.
Yeah.
and they're going to have to be really smart about
But
that.
what I'm curious is if the bundle includes, so if you pay for HBO, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, all these, that starts to add up.
Yeah.
But if Apple is saying, like they're doing with their news thing, that you can pay $10 for access to all these magazines, will their TV service be pay this amount, but you get access to HBO, you get access to Netflix or whatever? I'm wondering how that will work, because then that will sell me on, okay, let me just delete my subscriptions with them personally. I'll just go through Apple.
So here's a criticism of the event. We keep saying, I wonder.
Right.
They unveiled all this flashy shit, but like there wasn't a ton of detail about when, how much, so.
No, I mean, there was like
Wildly
a
vague.
45-minute video where like, Steven Spielberg was explaining what movies were.
Yeah.
They were like, we know what stories are in the form of like video and moving picture, and he was like, you want to feel something, and I
Right.
was like, what am I watching?
No, literally, Jennifer Aniston's like, you read lines and you pretend to be people. That is acting.
That is
Yeah, and I'm like,
cool.
we all know that. We want to know about what you're offering that is new.
And how
Right.
much it's going to cost me.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, their slate is like Steven Spielberg in a show, Ron Howard and Imagine a show with Kevin Durant called Swagger. Like, there's a ton of incredible content I'm very excited for.
Spending so much money.
So much money. And speaking of people not spending much money, YouTube is canceling a lot of their scripted content and getting rid of their premium service.
Did you guys watch
I've
YouTube
never
scripted
watched
content?
a YouTube script.
No, and everything that I've heard that's on there, I've heard really bad feedback about.
Yeah.
So that's why I never want to hit that YouTube red button, because why? And someone in the audience is looking like they're not, like they watched it and they also don't like it. I looked over and she was like, I was like, and that's all I need to see.
And we've seen breakout breakouts from Amazon, breakouts from Hulu, breakouts from Netflix. I've never heard of
Breakouts on
any.
my forehead. We've seen so many breakouts.
So many breakouts.
We've
So
got
many.
pimples. But I've never heard of a breakout show from YouTube's premium content or whatever, so
I know.
it's not going to go well.
But it's surprising of Google to kind of give up on that because, you know, Google owns YouTube.
Yeah.
But we'll see. There's so much happening, guys. I'm overwhelmed
It's all
already.
happening. It's all happening.
I've just gone back to reading books because this is all very stressful to me.
That's good.
I'm not even joking. I'm like, there's too many options. It's all too expensive. I'm going to go read the dictionary.
Yeah, but you're gonna be part of the world's biggest book club!
Books.
Well, on the note of streaming services, Sarah Silverman has thrown Hulu under the bus after the streaming service canceled her show, I Love You, America. On the Last Laugh podcast, the comedian revealed that she was so sure the show would be picked up and received words of encouragement from Hulu like, keep doing what you're doing, only to find out it would come to an end soon.
This is tough.
It's tough. I think if you read the from the Last Laugh podcast, like the transcript from it, like she definitely is like she understands it's a business decision. Like the show costs more than the popularity. These Hulu execs have to make a decision. But I think I more feel for her that if she's getting these words of encouragement, it's such a surprise. You're not ready for it when a show that's like your baby ends.
I feel like this was her dream job, and that is what the issue is. On the Dax Shepard podcast, she really talks about this. She gets kind of emotional about it. She's like, this is something I worked for. It was a combination of her comedy and politics. I think it just meant a lot to her. I cannot say that this was the greatest show, and I love her. I can't say that anybody I knew watched it, and she had to have been aware of that on some level. I think it just hurts because she loved doing it.
But she does say that, well, there's two things that were kind of jumped out to me. One is that she didn't get negative feedback or cautionary feedback from the network at all. They were saying you were doing a good job, so I could see then in her position why she would be surprised.
Yeah.
Right.
Second of all, the treatment that she references from Hulu is like really shady and like so odd. Like she talks about when she was the show being the second show on the network to be nominated for an Emmy, so there's not that many Hulu shows that are nominated. She gets nominated and Hulu like charges her for like all their hair and makeup at the awards, and they don't like. They just had a weird etiquette with her.
Yeah, well, they sent her a bill for like $1,500, and also the second thing she says, which is also very strange, when she got her Hollywood Walk of Fame, Netflix, who she worked with in the past, sent her flowers. Hulu sent her nothing. In Hollywood, that's such a big deal. Like a lot of it is bullshit love that networks send their performers, past and future, because they want to keep the relationship alive. Like. Everyone sends, Sarah probably got flowers people she hasn't seen in 25 years.
Yeah.
So the fact that Hulu was her network with her talk show she was on is very strange to me because it just does not make sense in the Hollywood relationship just cycle, how that all works there.
I do love her hesitation in saying it because she's like about to say the stuff about them charging her $1,500 and she's like, oh, this is gonna sound like Hollywood shit. Oh, fuck it. What do you guys think about bashing a former employer like this? Because in saying this, I doubt Hulu will probably want to work with her again.
But I mean, they didn't really have much respect for her to begin with, is what we're seeing.
Yeah.
So she probably thought, like, you know what? I don't want to work with them again anyway, and I'd rather give a caution, like a tale of caution to other people. I personally have worked at places that took advantage of me when I was a young creator and making like my own content, and I had horrible deals, people who like emotionally manipulated me. And I remember I left this business and they were like, if you want your last paycheck, you have to sign an NDA. And I was like, you can keep the paycheck because I'm gonna spread the news that you are fucking shady as fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And it was like the best decision I ever made because I've stopped other people from basically like signing over their entire, life's work as a comedian to this stupid network that was gonna screw them over anyway.
Yeah, I'm really glad she said it. I feel that I don't think that they exploited her or anything like that, but I often feel like I'm in a position where I'm afraid to talk about, speak up about something that I felt was inappropriate, wrong, not fair, because I don't want to jeopardize my chances of I don't know, just burn a bridge.
Yeah.
And it's brave of her to do this. She is in a position where she's not going anywhere. Right. She's famous, she's successful, she's gonna be able to find work. So the fact that she's speaking up, honestly, thank you for being fucking honest.
On that note, I think, like you said, Sarah Silverman probably, one, made a ton of money from Hulu, and two, will continue to make a ton of money because she's Sarah Silverman, she's incredibly talented. What this does, I think, is helps the next young female comedian who's in this position that Hulu will probably be careful of and probably treat better, hopefully, and who doesn't have the platform Sarah Silverman has. So that's what I hope this comes from this.
And I think it's connected to that bigger conversation of, Michelle Wolf's show was canceled, so was Robin Thede. I mean, I think female comedians are maybe held to a different standard, and her ability to speak up and talk about sort of the injustices she felt are important because it does seem like female comedians have to work twice as hard to get treated the exact same.
Right.
Definitely. Well, moving on, the age of celebrity children is upon us, guys, as many young, famous faces are starting to take over our news feeds. Northwest is collaborating with JoJo Siwa on a YouTube video, and DJ Khaled's son Assad will be an executive producer on his father's next album.
Okay, fuck off.
Okay.
That's all I have to say to that. What the hell is he?
Father of Assad!
I mean, what is he? What Goo Goo Gaga?
We're the best. Pew, pew, pew.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm sorry.
No, you want to hear what's dumber?
What?
You want to hear what's dumber? He says that he's contributing as an executive producer with subtle expressions and gestures.
Like, I'm gonna throw myself down a flight of stairs. That is horrible.
He picks his nose.
I'm so over DJ Khaled.
I feel like I'm such a generous person where I'm like, yeah, you know, fetuses are humans too, man. They have ideas. And I'm still like, fuck you. This is dumb. Your baby is not musically inclined already, okay? I refuse to believe it. He's not over there on the mixing board.
He's literally picking his nose and he's like, yeah, he likes that track. Yeah.
But apparently he EP'd that song DJ Khaled did for Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Shining.
Beyonce and Jay-Z probably like, what the hell? Who's EPing my song? This baby?
What's interesting
on.
They're
is...
just giving him credit.
But don't you think it's
you get
shady?
paid
Like,
for
you
that.
can get paid.
But you get paid,
This is
so he's
like,
making money.
unfair. I really feel like shitty.
This is like, sorry to make it a little political, what Donald Trump's dad did for him, making him owners of these buildings when he was 5 years old. He was a millionaire by the time he was 10. It is kind of like that. You're scamming the system a little bit.
It is. No, it's really
How much
true.
do you think he's getting paid?
It depends on how popular the song is. It's royalties. It's like all of that built in. Like Shining is a huge song with Beyonce and Jay-Z.
So wouldn't-
that kid's getting paid every time that song gets played.
I hate DJ Khaled, and I don't have any feelings towards his son. But just to play devil's advocate, wouldn't you as a parent maybe be like, this is a nice gesture for me to do for my children to set them up, is to kind of like throw them a credit where I can?
Sure.
Fine.
But they have a lot of money that you can set up a trust. I
No, I know.
I just like the credit when hey, it's in the end, it's not that big of a deal. The more bigger problems. I just think this, like, it's just so stupid to me.
It's just him. It's him. It's DJ Khaled for me. If it was another artist doing this, I would think it was kind of cute or maybe nice.
But
it's him in his damn pool on his elliptical, sweating every day, not losing a pound. I'm over it.
But
I'm so over him.
I agree.
And I just have a problem. I feel like when celebrities treat their children like they're also celebrities, when they're really just kids. Like you all know I love Madonna. I really respect how she raised her kids. Not saying she's perfect, but those kids are very talented, smart children that are really not in the public eye that much, though she's on their Instagram and I'm sure her daughter wanted to be a singer young. I'm sure she wanted to be an actress. Yeah. And Madonna resisted because like, you have to live a life, you have to go to school, you have to get training, and let them develop as people and make that choice when they're old enough.
I agree. There's got to be some fine line. Like Assad, like I'm worried. He's taking him everywhere. He's constantly overexposing this kid, and he's not even 2 or 3.
This kid's not a virgin anymore.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, I think I want to pray for the first time since, actually the first time.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Shannon, find God.
He's selling Jesus.
He's selling drugs. He's had tons of girlfriends.
Right.
Wow.
Totally.
Well, he's living the rock star life. I'm sorry.
He's too young. I honestly don't think that baby should be having sex. I honestly think people should wait at least until you're like 17 to touch a boob.
No, Assad has touched boobs.
Oh God.
To breastfeed.
DJ Khaled's probably like, no, let Assad touch a boob. Let Assad touch a boob.
He's the best.
So, Northwest is collaborating with YouTube star JoJo. Apparently, she's a big fan, and she FaceTimed JoJo. Now they're gonna be in a video. Cool.
See, okay, again, I get, I'm sure that she wants to do this. I'm sure North looks at her parents and is like, yeah, I want to do that. But she's so little.
Exactly.
And when you see she's wearing makeup and jewelry and little high heels, and there's that video of her dancing with Kanye in Africa, and her like little bra strap. I'm like, is she wearing a bra?
Yeah,
it's like on her shoulder,
I
and she's like got glasses on, and she's like,
yeah, she's
moving like
dancing.
this. And I'm just like, she's going to be a nightmare at 13.
I can't
She's
dance
gonna
like
be
that.
really bad. I saw her at a Sunday service, and she was wearing black lipstick and a little black, like, looked like a nightgown, and she was also doing the same sexy move, which when I do it is not sexy, but when she does it, you know?
Yeah. To give her credit, she's found a move that works for her, and I respect that.
She's
As a
got her
dancer,
move.
I respect that.
She's like whipping her hair in that, right?
No, she's just like, it looks good, you know?
Why
Like she's doing it.
Why can she do that? But I can't.
I'm scared. Yeah.
But it's just like this oversaturation, this overexposure. They're so young. You just have to like worry about what that's gonna do to them. We look at Disney stars and like what they have to struggle with, and like, this is almost even worse because these kids are like have money off the jump and they're so entitled on access and just
Yeah.
And then we're talking about it, and I think that's so annoying.
I wish that they could just, I wish that they were friends and they were like, we're gonna make a video in our room, and it just didn't go anywhere.
Right.
And it wasn't like a headline, but now people are like, and you know, Kim's gonna be in the video, and I'm like, that's just weird. I don't want Kim in the video with JoJo Siwa yelling her fucking lungs out, like, hey guys, what's up? You're like, please stop yelling.
Yeah.
Also, North is 5, and JoJo's
Yeah.
15. What do they have to talk about?
But if you look at, she's 5, but she looks way older than JoJo Siwa. JoJo Siwa's like, I'm 3.
But I do love,
Oh my
think,
God, I'm sorry,
of
I'm
course,
missing a child. Delete this.
and I do
know where
love,
you're
of course, King and Queen of America, Beyonce and Jay-Z, their child, Blue Ivy, Crown Princess. I do like her amount of time in the media, and I love the video that Miss Tina Knowles
That picture's so
posted.
damn cute.
It's such a good, of Blue telling a joke, but also it's not on Blue. Blue's not on camera, you just hear her telling it. And I think that's also a good way. Like, Tina, it's her Instagram, it's on her, but you hear Blue telling the joke, and you get the idea of what, like, it's funny, it's corny. I like that. They do a good job.
They're much more metered with her.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, she's in dance classes, she likes to perform, but they're not like because believe me, they could, right? At
Right.
this point, put her in anything they want. They're not doing that. They're just kind of letting her be a kid and be artistic in the ways that they got to be, I think, when they were young, which is cool. But they have put her on tracks. Like, her voice has been on their music and stuff, so.
But for some reason, I don't care as much about that. Like, that's fine.
I don't know. I feel like they're okay.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
The other ones I'm worried about.
Yeah, I pulled out because I was like, you know what? I feel weird talking about kids.
I know.
It's freaking me out.
Was
Yeah,
this
yeah.
I
a
think we're more
mistake?
talking about the
Guys.
phenomenon, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we have problems with any of these kids. I think we're looking at, like, as a society, how we are, like, over-sexualizing them and overexposing them and, like, all this stuff. And
I'm
that's
not over-sexualizing them. I'm commenting on basically the implications of him being involved in everything and rolling around with this 40-year-old
I know,
rapper.
you're making it to- yeah.
It's a joke about that.
It's a joke, I know.
I can't explain my jokes to everyone, okay?
if you don't get it, you just don't
You
get
don't get it. Humor is a measure of intelligence. Seriously.
Wait, is this the moment when we get canceled? Is Twitter like, how dare you?
I think we've said much worse on this.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, true,
much
true.
worse.
Well, you guys were kids once.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh my God,
were.
yeah, we were.
Remember when we were kids, y'all?
I forgot about that.
I did forget. I think we brought some photos along to show what, like, a young Blue Ivy Britney would look like.
Oh.
You know, she was meant to be a star. I love this photo
That
because
outfit.
they say that you should dress for the job you want,
Yeah.
and I think I wanted to be an attorney.
Yeah.
Maybe. Just like a baby power suit.
In the 80s, a high-power attorney.
Look at those shoulder pads and
The umbrella?
yeah, the umbrella and like
Yeah.
the moon-shaped earrings.
Well, that is just,
Oh,
you
I
were
didn't
just
see the
elegant.
earrings.
It's elegance, really.
Oh my God.
I love
You're
that.
so adorable.
I would let you defend me in court.
I think I had
Yeah.
opinions.
At that age, I would say you definitely won every case.
Yeah.
Sure.
And at that age, I was a brat and I was fighting with my older brothers a lot. So I did feel like I was a lawyer, I think.
Do we have a photo of Shannon?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Aw.
Shannon, you're like, were you a model?
You're a baby
Yeah,
model.
that's me at a park in San Juan, and it's covered in pigeons. And I was feeding pigeons, and you know, I just was like, wow, watch me pose.
But it really is like a baby model.
Yeah, you know what? Look at me, my bra strap's showing.
Look at that shoulder movement you got going on.
What you couldn't tell was I was actually moving. I'm really getting good at this move.
Allie, what's your picture?
I don't know. There we are.
Rugrat!
I was a big Rugrats stan.
Always a comedian.
Always
Makes-
a comedian
cute.
with that white bucket hat, whatever that is.
It's hard for me to imagine you smaller because you're already so small.
I know.
I feel like you could wear that exact outfit and be like, oh, she looks good in it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. Do we have one of Lucas?
Whoa.
Me at a king at snack time. That's how I walked around the house like that.
Wearing a crown.
Yeah, that's literally like a Tuesday. Like I just get home from school and like put out that
Why
on.
did you own this fur?
Oh my God,
robe?
I had several fur cloaks. Are you kidding me? This was number like 2 on the list. Yeah, I don't know. I really wanted to be a king, getting dressed for the job you want. Didn't quite work out yet. But yeah, this was me at my prime, I think.
Amazing.
Love it.
You
All
are
of these-
so cool.
All of these kids were like mini Blue Ivies, but we got time to flourish without the attention.
Yeah.
Look at us now.
Look at us now. We're amazing.
We made it, you guys. In other news, in an interview with Us Weekly, Frankie Grande revealed that his sister Ariana is his go-to confidant when it comes to dating advice. Frankie says the two siblings are very close and that despite their busy schedules, they're able to keep in touch.
Good for them.
Wow, that's like really cool.
Frankie may have mentioned 10 times that he talks to Ariana every day
Yeah.
in this interview. I totally believe him. but he mentioned it like 15 times.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We
when
get it.
you guys look alike and you share the same last name and we already know your siblings, it's like, you can chill.
Yeah.
You don't have to be like, do you know who my sister is?
Yeah.
I'm
He's like,
I
we
know.
FaceTime for an hour every day. We don't know where we find time, but we do find time. I'm like, you don't have to defend it.
Right.
Understand.
I mean, this stuff brings up like who you get dating advice from.
I would not get from Ariana.
Well, oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Well,
Yikes.
That's fair.
that is kind of fair. But
I
I
was going to Ariana for dating advice. Dude, call someone else.
Yeah.
know that's kind of true. Well, I do say I think I've gone to my brothers for different advice. When I was in a relationship, I went to my older brother. But now I'm single. I kind of go to my younger brother more.
That's funny.
Kind of makes sense a little bit.
Yeah.
You know them.
I grew up with 3 older brothers, and I 100% never talked to them about dating ever. Like, not even, they don't want to hear it. They don't. I brought one boy home in my entire life, and my brother wore like a Muhammad Ali shirt where he knocked out that guy and he was standing over him. Like, they are very serious with like protecting me, so like they are not who I go to for dating advice. I have talked to my sister-in-laws though, just so they like know that I'm not like a hermit.
Yeah. Like you see people.
Yeah, like
You go
I date
out.
people, I just don't talk to my brothers
Like-
about it.
I'm a hermit, so you know what? I'm not dating. I don't remember the last time I dated someone, so I'm not asking anyone for advice. I'm just chilling on Netflix.
Chilling out.
Really just watching shows about dating, you
Right.
know? That's my dating.
And that makes you an ex.
You gave me some good dating advice though.
Yeah, I'm really good at giving
Yeah,
advice.
like she talked me through something like last month, and I was like, okay, this is a good perspective. Because like I think I'm a little too blunt, and so like the best and worst advice I've ever gotten, I think the best advice I've gotten from people is that like you're a little too honest and blunt, and like you can maybe let things sort of happen. You don't need to
In
like.
what way? Like with not with their appearance, with like.
No, like when it comes to like discussions, like
Right.
if we've gone on a date and I'm not quite feeling it, I'll just be like, I'm not quite feeling this.
Right.
And people, are like, you don't have to be like that blunt.
Right.
You can sort of.
This isn't working.
This
I'm
isn't
not attracted
working
to
for
you.
me.
Pay the bill and I'll leave. See you later.
Like I have done that, and like you don't have to be.
You know what I
so-
called? That is feminism, and you know what you want. Don't apologize for that ever.
That's why I'm single, though.
Who do you
who do you
ask
do?
for advice?
I feel like I don't really ask for advice.
Well, you're perfect, so you don't need to.
Until I'm in a big fight with my significant other, and then I call everyone, and I'm like, can you believe what she fucking did? But then I don't ask advice for like months and months and months, and then I'll just like take screenshots and send it to everyone and be like, can you believe this bitch?
Do you find it hard though being in a relationship when you do want to vent, but then you maybe vent too much, and your friends are like,
Yeah.
oh, but Allie was like, she's so mean to you. Why? Like, is it hard for them to forgive so easily?
That's why I don't tell people that much. I
Yeah.
got scared of doing that in my past relationship, so that has made me not do it in my current one, because sometimes if you bring up your significant other to people, it like sours their opinion on them, and you might only share the bad, or you might only
course.
share, and I'm like, it's too hard, especially with my sisters and my mom. I'm like, I don't want to color your interaction with my significant other,
Totally.
or like, because they'll hold on to my grudges. And I'm like, oh no, we're over that. And they're like, no, but they did this. And it's like, no, like we have to, it's
Yeah.
tough when you get other people involved. Like honestly, like no one really knows what it's like unless it's
Right.
Unless
just
it's you.
I think when I would pick like one really, really good friend that I would vent to, because
Yeah.
she would no matter what treat my significant other, my ex,
Yeah.
with respect because
Yeah.
she loves me. I think sometimes it got hard because they like other people like, I care about you so much, I don't like this is happening.
Yeah.
But then I found a therapist, and honestly, that's why therapy is good
Yeah.
too, because like
Therapy's good.
you got to talk to them, and then they kind of challenge you a little bit, but they don't know your significant other, they never will. So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love, like, if you don't have money for therapy, like, just go online and be like on Yahoo Answers, like, what does it mean when your significant other keeps trying to smother you with a pillow at night? And you're like, I think you want to break up.
It
Oh
means
my
they love you
God.
so much.
You're like, oh, I want to steal your bread.
Do you remember Yahoo Answers?
Yes, it's
my
amazing.
fucking passion.
Wait, did I tell you my Yahoo Answers story on here? Oh my God, so when I was in like middle school, I would like post my math homework
Yes.
questions on Yahoo
Yeah.
Answers. That was like a common thing. I'd be like, you know, if the 4 people are waiting by the train and the train goes by 45 minutes, does John have a wife? Whatever, whatever the math question is. So my friend would post the math questions on, and I was like, oh, that's my friend. I clicked her profile, and it shows all of her previously asked questions on Yahoo
no.
Answers. And one of her previously asked questions was like, my vagine smells so bad. what do I do about it? Is this normal? And I just kind of like lived with that weight for like years. I was like, I know you're getting the math answers. I also know about something going on. See a doctor.
But did you
what do
give
I do?
her an answer? Did
No.
you join in and be like, Monistat, girl, just
No,
do it?
I didn't want to humiliate her by having seen it. My username at the time was my name. I didn't make a fake account. But
So how did you know it was her? You just knew that was her?
because hers was her name, and she sent me the link. She was like, I posted it so we could check back for answers, and I was just snooping
But
around.
do you think she figured out you knew and it was just quiet, awkward?
No, I know to this day she does not know.
Oh,
I
man.
might call her later.
We
I think she
should.
knows now. You just said it
Yeah.
on camera.
We should call her on camera.
And we know she watches.
Yeah. Well, advice is fun, and that brings us to our next guest with tons of dating advice. It's time for Lindsay Metzler. She's a CEO, Instagram food influencer, and relationship expert. You can listen to her on her weekly podcast, We Met at Acme, which delves into all things millennial dating, from dating app etiquette to sex on the first date and more. Please give a warm Build Brunch welcome to Lindsay Metzler.
Woo!
It's so fun, a walkout.
Do you love it?
You
Very
really started.
dramatic.
I know.
I was gonna do the like fake finger gun. That is horrible.
How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank
We're
you.
back on a couch together.
I know. This is just how our relationship started.
Yeah.
So tell us about the podcast We Met at Acme.
Totally. So We Met at Acme is a millennial dating podcast, and it basically every episode I bring on someone who's had tons of experience dating, whether bad or good or a combo, you know. And actually, Allie was recently on it, so stay tuned for her episode, where she challenges me, very rightfully so. You'll see. And yeah, it's really great. We're doing these live events now, live podcasts, and it's been really fun. I've learned so much about dating. So,
Yeah.
which is great and necessary, I feel.
And what was the inspiration behind the podcast? I mean, were you always dating and were like, I want to talk about this, curious?
Yeah, so I was always dating. I'm that person out of my friends that everyone goes to for advice. And when I'm single, I date a lot, like 2 dates in a night, 3 if I can fit it.
Whoa.
So,
Give you a pillow. So you
yeah,
can-
for
Wait,
sure.
3
Thank
dates in a
you.
night?
Yeah, I mean, why
people do
waste
it.
your time on like one person the whole night if it might be
Okay,
bad?
but then what do you do? I'm sorry if you
Yeah.
answered this before. If the first person you go on, you really like him.
Cancel.
I've been in that situation before,
Okay.
and I had them. I don't know why I made these decisions, you know, but I had them both meeting me at the same place. And really,
Baller!
and I really liked the first guy, and I didn't know what to do with myself when the other guy was coming. So I told the first guy that I had a business meeting, thinking that he would be like, okay, bye, and like leave the place. It was this rooftop. He didn't leave the rooftop, and then watched me go on this second date the whole time. So I pretty much shot myself in the foot.
You basically just put yourself on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Which everyone should really do more or less when they're dating.
Wait, so what happened there? I'm just curious.
So I had the second date. It wasn't going well. They were like intolerable. And then I'm leaving and I run into the first guy at the bar of the rooftop. And I'm like, hey, you're still here, like so crazy. And he's like, yeah, how was your date? And I was like, what date? Like, that's a business thing. And he's like, really? A business thing at 10:30 on the rooftop? I was like, oh my God. And I was like, ha ha, like, I don't know. I don't even know how I got out of it, but we ended up dating after that.
Oh, okay.
For like a few weeks. It was definitely just like I was definitely being like used for sex, probably, but.
You know what?
It is
At
what
least
it
you
is.
know.
Yeah.
The way of my life.
We both were benefiting.
That's
at the
somebody's
time.
dream, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
Will you explain the title We Met at Acme? I know some people don't know what's
So Acme is a bar in the city.
Right there.
Exactly. We could walk there after. We should all
Let's
go after.
go.
We'll meet someone at Acme, but it's this bar in the city. It's kind of hard to get in, which is annoying. Like, we don't like places that are hard to get in. However, when I made this podcast, I was able to get in better, so that was helpful.
That
But
is
the
smart.
reason I called it We Met at Acme is because this couple that I stalk on Instagram, everyone has one, you know. like hashtag couple goals. And I was looking at their wedding photo, and in the comments, someone was like, I can't believe you guys met at Acme.
Wow.
And I was like, stop. That sounds so good, you know? Like, we met at Acme, and we met implies that it's dating related. So I was like, done, we met at Acme.
Also, there is a really good male-female ratio there for me when I've noticed.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
it is a good place to like.
I feel like it's very highly curated.
Yeah, it is.
The Patrick, shout out to the bouncer and door guy, is so smart about making sure that there's like a good balance, you know, of everyone.
Wow.
So your podcast is hugely successful, and a lot to do because you have really interesting and fun guests on. You've had like Nick from The Bachelor, you had Sheena from Vanderpump Rules, you've had like a porn stars, like sexologists, you've had Mark from the Fire Festival documentary. You've had incredible people on.
Yeah.
Can you pick a favorite, or is there some sort of like type of person that comes on that's always a good guest?
For sure. I would say the type of person that's a great guest is someone willing to go there and really be open about their relationship stuff. Like there's one friend of mine who came on, and I had no idea what to expect. She came on, she started talking about squirting and like how every girl can make herself squirt. And I was like, oh my God, like this was not, it's always the unexpected ones, you know? I was like, this is not what I expected at all, but this is amazing. And obviously the well-known people are great, but they're not usually as like free-flowing as friends and things like that.
Do you have a dream guest though that you would love to come?
Yes, actually, if you're listening, Howard Stern, please come on
my God.
my fucking podcast. He would be.
That would be epic.
We should have
He's
spoken
just a
about that
legend.
one.
Why, you know him?
I used to intern there. I love him. We'll talk after. We'll talk after.
We'll speak. We'll speak.
What is the most, are there any, like, first of all, what's the most interesting thing you've learned from, like, interviewing millennials about dating? But is there anything really funny that you've heard? Besides the squirting, which is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, actually. There was a guest on episode 6, this banker, like investment banker in the city, very typical, basic. And he told me this story about a girl who gave him head on like the first date or something like that.
She was excited.
Yeah, which is great. And like you think you're hearing this and you're like, oh my God, like this is gonna go really badly. But after she gave him head, she ghosted him.
Oh.
And he called her blowjob ghost, and he fell in love with her after that. And so now, if anyone comes to me and they're like, what do? I went too far, too fast. I'm like, well, then ghost them now, you know, because the blowjob ghost. Like,
So eventually they met
love
back
of his
up
life.
again?
No, never.
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 Oh,
Never.
Never?
spoke
So
to
is he
him
just in
again.
love with the idea of her?
Probably. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like we're in love with everyone who ghosts us.
I mean, I would assume then she did not, in the end, really like him that much.
But I want to know when
Yeah.
she
The D wasn't that
like,
great.
was she like, I
He had
just want to...
smegma on his dick.
Yeah.
Like, that's when you go someone after head. Is
it-
Yeah.
You had dick cheese all over that shit.
right.
Wow.
No,
Or
is it
maybe
weird
she-
that I
yeah.
get her? Like,
No, full.
yeah, you're just like, I'm into this right now, and then she
Right.
probably thought about it later and was like, no, like, screw him.
Right.
Like,
I want to know when she knew she wasn't into him, before or after the breakup. That is the most interesting fact. When she was like, I'll send him
Okay.
off with something.
Right, exactly.
We are with her. Like, we are with her.
yeah, we have her
I'm
back.
with her. We have her
But
back.
maybe she just wanted to practice her skills.
Right.
Like, how fast can I do this and like be successful at it? Okay, great. Now I'm gonna go to some dude that I actually care about and give
Do it
him
better.
help.
Totally could
You
be.
know?
There's
I
a
want her
whole
on the show.
psychology behind
Do it.
the
We want the blowjob ghost on the
Blowjob
Blowjob
show.
ghost, if you're listening, you know who you are.
Honestly, I'm ready to add her as a 5th host. She sounds good.
Amazing.
awesome.
Yeah, she's a legend, honestly.
So will you tell us about Lindsay's Lunchbox?
Yes. So Lindsay's Lunchbox is a social media consulting company, and I called it Lindsay's Lunchbox because once upon a time I wanted to open a restaurant for just kids.
Oh.
Call it Lindsay's Lunchbox, and instead of having like a little kids menu, have a little adults menu.
That's so cute.
But then I realized opening a restaurant would be giving up my entire life, and I would never do anything but be in that restaurant again. So I was doing social media at the time for food brands. I have a food blog called Don't Expect Salads,
It's so good.
which is obviously not salad related.
Love it.
I've actually never eaten a salad before.
I don't. Girl, let's talk.
Yeah, no,
not even
I
a
side, not a
swear.
meal.
I swear.
Yeah.
What happens when they put greens on the side? You just toss it on the floor?
I give them away to whoever wants them.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Generous.
Charity.
Yeah, I'm giving. But Lindsay's on Talks is basically I do social media for brands on like a monthly basis. One of my clients, Decal Market Hall. Have you guys ever been there in downtown Brooklyn? It's amazing. They will appreciate the shout out. That's it. Being, you know, good.
And how many Instagram accounts do you have right now? Because I heard you have a bunch.
Too many. I have 6.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is
and that
a lot.
includes my Finsta, which we all have.
Right.
obviously.
So how do you find time to manage them all? Because I have one, and
Yeah.
I'm like every 6 weeks I post something.
I don't know, but it's funny that you asked because I went to, you know how you can see how long you've spent on Instagram? I went to the thing and I was like, oh, I've only spent an hour. And then I went to all the other accounts and it was also an hour. So I was like, this is horrible. But I just try to like think, oh, have I posted on this account today? Have I posted on this account today? And usually do it within an hour and then just like get away from it for a little bit so I can breathe.
So in managing all these accounts, do you have just like one piece of simple advice for people who want to become influencers or grow their
I need help.
followers?
Yes, I would say be really, really honest in your captions, but not like too honest that you're writing a novel and
Right.
people are like, relax. But honest, like for example, I posted a photo from Florida 2 weekends ago, and it was obviously like a fake candid, you know, when
Right.
you're laughing for the photo, you're like, and I was like, I fake laughed so hard that I actually laughed in this
Right.
photo, and it was like a series of me fake laughing into real laughing. So I think people just can identify with the realness and just can tell when it's fakeness.
Right.
Yeah, that
We
makes
have a
sense.
game we want to play with you.
Yes, we have a bit of a game, and this is actually something I really love about your Instagram account. We met at Acme. Is you guys post a lot of deal breakers, red flags.
Yes.
So we have some scenarios that we wanted to run by you and just kind of get your take.
Ooh, let's hear it.
So this is an interesting one. You're going on a couple dates with someone, and let's say I'm gonna like spice this up a little, and let's say they're great, but like for the first several dates, they're like incredibly late. Is that? I mean, that's obviously a red flag to me, but like, how many dates would you like keep going on someone?
It's a deal breaker for sure. The first time they're late is fine. It's that one time. Actually, my current partner was 15 minutes or maybe 20 minutes late on our 3rd date, and it almost did not continue.
Wow.
But I think if they do it once and not again, then it's fine.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I think you have to say something. Like, I would give
Yeah.
it to the second date, and when he showed up, I'd be like, if you're ever late again, I will
Exactly.
not be here when you arrive.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was dating someone who was late a lot, but we kind of made a joke out of it. But
Tell your story.
Yeah, tell.
I was dating a person, and I thought he really liked me, but we had
The gym class.
The gym class one. Oh my God, so we were supposed to go to Barry's boot camp together.
Yeah, of
I've never done it before ever.
Yeah.
We were gonna do it together. I go, I'm gonna suffer through this, and I get a text saying, I'm running late, I'm not gonna make it. And I'm like, you're gonna make me do this class?
He did the class
By
alone.
myself.
It was a blessing though, because I looked disgusting after that class,
Yeah.
but I was mad about that.
Did he register? Because that's like
Yeah,
$30
lost money.
down the
Yeah.
drain.
Wow.
Wow, what a flake. Did you see him after?
A couple times.
Wow.
He was hot.
We're all the worst.
I support.
What's your
Oh, I have one. If they smoke cigarettes.
So it's not a deal breaker because it could change. Like, let me tell you, many people don't know this, but I just read Becoming by Michelle Obama.
Die.
Guess who smoked cigarettes?
Of
I
course.
know.
You know.
He's
know.
not perfect.
He's not, but he is now because he doesn't.
right.
Which means, like, we can change, surface level things about us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
our
that's true. If you look up Barack and Michelle, I guess
But like,
Yeah.
don't do it on our date. I dated a guy who smoked, and like as we were walking, like he was walking me to my door, he like
Right.
lit up a cigarette, and I was like,
Ugh.
"You're about to kiss me," or
Yeah,
at least I
no.
assumed you were. You're not anymore.
Right, exactly. That's sabotage.
I didn't let
for
him kiss me, and he was
himself.
like all confused. I was like, "You just smoked a cigarette."
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
gross.
I
Wild.
also hate the really over-apologetic smokers. It's like, if you're gonna smoke, at least own it. I hate the people who are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I'll put it out, And then they,
Yeah,
like, go on the
no.
ground and start tapping it out. And you're like, you're being so much grosser right now.
But
Like,
what
just
about dueling?
Oh, I hate
I'm
that.
not
For me,
into
that's
it.
a deal breaker.
Yeah.
But everyone does
Julie
that.
is
though.
for teenagers,
like the-
though.
It is.
Grossest,
Yeah.
lamest
Yeah,
thing.
Have you
it's
been
just like
dating
I think it's just
teenagers?
lame.
Maybe.
Oh,
no.
that's
No, luckily, my partner does not jewel, but
Okay.
Great,
that
awesome.
would be
Cool, cool,
disgusting.
The next one is social media. What if the person you're seeing doesn't have social media? Is that a red flag?
That's sketchy as fuck. Like, who doesn't have social media?
Yeah.
Like they're obviously married with another family. And that's just something that you have to accept. Like, name one person who doesn't have social media who isn't sketchy.
Yeah, or
Right?
over the
Think
age
about
of
it.
65.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I mean, if you're dating a grandpa, like, that's fine.
Right.
You know?
You expect
but
it.
There's a
then
balance because I also don't like dating men who are too into their social media.
Oh my God.
And they're like making like duck faces, like no.
No, I
Yeah.
think, and this is a controversial statement, but I think any straight man who's like posting solo shots or selfies is not
Well.
not well. Very unwell.
I would say
and
that's accurate.
insecure.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Not that.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, I have one. What about people who are super hot but have like the worst tattoos? Like I always
Like,
get
give me an
so creeped
example.
out. Like,
Yeah.
like if they have like a SpongeBob tattoo, but it's SpongeBob on crack, like foaming from the mouth. Like, I've met so many people where I'm like, this person's hot, and then they take off their shirt and it's like, this is my grandma's face on this titty. And I'm like, we don't need to see grandma on your
Yeah,
titty.
that's tragic.
It's tragic.
I don't know. I think it depends how hot they are, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it definitely takes away a lot of the hotness. I would allow for one bad tattoo.
Right.
Location matters though too.
Yeah.
If it's always visible, that's going to be a problem for
It's
me.
true.
If we can hide it.
Exactly.
What
What about like when the guys has tattoos right here and it's like a
That's not
chili
cute.
pepper and you're like, man, I can't suck this
No,
dick.
that's not cute. No, you can't. I feel like here is like a hot place.
Yeah,
To
if
have
it
one.
accentuates your arm muscle
Exactly.
appropriately.
Exactly. But then it's pressure to always have muscle, but that's there. That's on them.
That's on them.
I like a tight body, so.
Exactly. Well, I think they should invent tattoos that expire, like an 8-year tattoo that goes away, so you can decide if you want to like renew that
I agree.
tattoo
Yeah,
or
that's
move
smart.
on from it.
Something more than henna.
I love that idea.
but less than-
I would like
Yeah.
one that just lasts 2 years. I think that's a
2
great
is fine.
idea.
Yeah.
This has been so much fun.
So much fun.
Lindsay,
So much
thank
fun.
you
Thank
so
you
much for
So
joining us.
much.
You can
Amazing.
listen to We Met at Acme on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms. And that's all from us. We'll see you all tomorrow, same time, same table.